What's up, guys? Finally coming back with another video. I know it's been way too long since I uploaded a video, but you know, I had a bit of a rough first year of college. I ended up switching my major twice and ended up transferring schools halfway through the year. It's just kind of a hectic year. I didn't have much time, and you know, the videos kind of got put on hold, but we are back and have time and everything is set up so we can make some videos now. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about a topic today that has been covered fairly extensively, but I might be able to bring some light to the subject. The question is the Subaru WRX a good college car? Specifically the 02 to 07 wagon, because that's what I have experience with. You know, I did complete my first year of college this year, like I said, and I did it solely in a WRX. I drive an 06 WRX wagon. If you haven't seen other videos on my channel and don't know what my car looks like, here it is. First thing to talk about, reliability and longevity. You know, that's a big one when you're thinking about buying a college car. Is it going to last? Is it going to blow up? Is there going to be problems all the time? This is kind of a complicated question to answer for the WRX because it really depends on how you drive it and how you treat it. And I think that goes for any car or any motorized vehicle at all. If you treat it well, it's going to treat you well. But it kind of applies even more so to the WRX because it is a turboed engine. It does have boost. It does put extra strain on the components of the engine. And there are a lot more people that buy these to hot rod in them. So, you know, they tend to get abused a little more. Like I said, really depends on what kind of driver you are, how you treat the car. There's people who've babied their WRXs and have over 200,000 miles on the stock engine. Then there's people who buy them and blow them up at 80,000 miles because they beat on them and rod them around all the time. You know, from a college kid's perspective, if you are a car enthusiast, if you respect your car and you care about your car and you want your car to be nice, look nice, perform nice, it is reliable and it will last you a long time. You know, little subtleties that, you know, for example, cold starts. It's generally known cold starting a car and driving it hard is not a good idea no matter what kind of car you have. But it's even more so on the WRX. If you get in, throw it on in 32 degrees and you go rod around in boost, that's super hard on the engine to get into boost before, you know, stuff's up to operating temperature, before oil temps up, all that. You know, think about what kind of person you are. Are you going to be the one that's rushing to get to class right at the end of the, you know, right before you need to get there, you want to jump in, you want to go? Or are you someone who can plan a little bit and say, all right, I'm going to allow 3 to 5 minutes for my car to warm up to operating temperature, and then I'll drive to class? You kind of got to decide, you know, what kind of person are you, and are you going to be able to, you know, take care of the car in that sense? Treat it well. Not rod it around. Do you have the control to not be in boost at every red light that you're at? Those are some things to think about, and those are the kind of things that'll greatly affect the reliability and the longevity of your car. That kind of brings me to the next point, a cost of owning. You know, I always like to use Lamborghinis as an example because it's significant and it makes sense. You know, let's say somebody's, you know, browsing some used cars, maybe they're browsing Craigslist and they see, oh crap, here's an older Lamborghini Gallardo for $80,000. It's like, oh, that, you know, that's a pretty good deal, and maybe I could save up and I could buy that. You know, it's 80 grand. Like, that's a lot, but not unreasonable. I mean, it's less than a new Corvette now and stuff. And so they're thinking about that and they're considering it and stuff. You got to think about the cost of, like, you know, yeah, the Lamborghini's 80 grand. That's a good deal. But are you going to be able to afford $1,500 oil changes? Are you going to be able to afford super expensive tires and wheels and all these other hidden costs that come with owning a supercar like that? With the WRX, it's on a much smaller scale, but there are hidden costs, you know, like you buy a Corolla and it works forever. You can get in it, drive it, it's never going to have any problems. You know, they're super reliable, super basic, but they're not a sports car like this. So, you know, with this car, you got to really think about where you're at financially. You know, if ringland failure happens or something happens to the engine, can you shell out the money to get it fixed? You know, if it comes time to do the timing belt, are you going to be able to shell out the money to get that fixed? That's not a cheap thing to do. You know, it's an all-wheel drive. It wears out tires faster. Can you afford to put good and reliable tires on the car? There's these things that you got to consider when you're buying a sports car, because this is a sports car, and, you know, really think about your financial situation, where you're going to be with the car in a year, how you're going to treat the car. All these things add up when you're thinking about purchasing this as a college car. You know, typically us college students don't have a lot of money. I ended up getting a really good deal on this, and I tend to save my money and stuff in case something goes wrong. I can replace it, I can fix it. You know, one freak accident last winter, was being a little irresponsible, drifting it a little bit, and bumped a curb and bent my rear lateral links on the left side. You know, it cost me, I think, $700 to replace all the lateral links, get the alignment fixed. It wore a tire wrong. You know, there's all this stuff. So those are things to think about. This car does have a higher cost of owning than a Corolla or a car of that kind. If you're not willing to do those things, if you're not willing to keep up on the maintenance religiously, if you're not willing to treat the car with respect, you might want to think about something else, you know. That brings me to the next point, the versatility of the car, the use of it, you know. When you get all the maintenance done and everything's good, how's the car? I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a more versatile car than this. You know, it can almost do everything. This being a wagon, I've got a ton of space. Sedan owners are going to find this a little bit less, but you know, when I got to college, a lot of kids were lofting their beds because you want to have some more room in the dorm room to sit down and stuff, so you bring your bed up off the ground. Well, I own a WRX, so I run down to Home Depot, I throw the back seats down, and I can throw 2x4s in the car and drive back to my dorm. You know, that's a crazy thing for a sports car to be able to do that. I've got 4 doors and 5 seats. I can haul all my friends around. I've got all-wheel drive so that in the winter here in Montana, when it gets icy and super snowy and everything, I'm good to go. These are all kinds of things that make this car crazy versatile for a college student. I mean, it's not uncommon to see a WRX hauling a kayak on the roof, or bikes, or whatever. You'd be hard-pressed to find another car at this price range. You know, I know there's Audis and whatever, but a car that you can buy for $10,000 to $15,000 that you can take to the track and do really well, and then also head up to the ski hill the next day and have some fun there. That is one place where the WRX shines. It can almost do it all. So that being said, overall, would I recommend this car? Absolutely. Hell yes, it's a great college car. It's tiny, I can park anywhere. It gets good gas mileage for a sports car. It's a Subaru, so parts are cheap. It's reliable if you take care of it. You know, it comes down to what's your situation, what do you need the car to do, and are you the kind of person who can own this car responsibly and treat this car well? If the answer to that is yes, this is the car for you. It's a super good car, and you'd be hard-pressed to find anything better. That being said, thank you guys very much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. And also, if you guys ever have any questions about these cars, This was my dream car as a kid, and I have researched them relentlessly. I know quite a bit about them. If you have any questions about mods you're thinking about, or is this car looking good? How is this, that, or whatever you have a question about, throw it down in the comments. I'll read them. I'll try to respond in a timely manner. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.